What's going on, everyone out there? My name is Myles K. Farrington. I'm here with my two co-hosts to bring you episode 93 of the MONG Podcast. I'm here with Adam Leonard.
Hi.
Adam! As well as
Yeah.
Jordan Leffler.
Hello,
Jordan!
me.
Big energy! Yeah!
Yes.
Oh, God. Uh, um, so, as you'll know, this is our video game podcast. What is everyone up to? What events are we still running recruitment, Jordan?
We are always running recruitment,
We are.
Miles. Always. More actively at certain times than others, but it will be rising shortly. I was focusing a lot on the Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom Pain giveaway last week, and so we'll be working on this a little bit sooner. I do, though, need to fix something with the application page because Courtney is getting all of the applications.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's awkward.
So
Yeah.
I need to like redo the entire page.
Oh,
So that's my new project.
Fun.
everyone loves making websites work, don't they?
This guy
Hmm.
does.
Oh, I
Yeah,
guess if you legitimately enjoy it,
no,
power to you.
a little bit, yes and
Just
no.
a little
But
bit.
we'll see how it goes.
All right, all right. Well, now that we have been updated on the site, update me on you two, you gents. What are you two up to? Two.
Adam always goes first, so he's gonna go first now.
All right. I spent the week, well, part of the week anyways, playing Until Dawn. I wrote the review on it for the site.
He wrote the review.
The
I
review.
did. Um, it was amazing. It's a very, very good game. I give it a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Sweet.
Very
We've been
nice.
doing a lot of high scores lately, and I don't think that that's necessarily something telling about us. I think it's just there are a lot of good games coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was kind of fascinating because it was like the first time ever. It was like one of those times I had to kind of explore our rating system a little bit because, like when you're going to give something a 10, that's got to mean something.
Mhm.
And, ultimately what I felt is that Until Dawn's not perfect. There are some things you could nitpick about it. There are probably a couple flaws there. But ultimately the fact that we call 10 a masterpiece, not a perfect game, but a masterpiece,
Yeah, yeah.
that was the judging criteria. And Until Dawn is kind of groundbreaking for the genre, and it's one of those games. If you have a PS4, you absolutely got to play it.
All
Yeah,
right.
okay, well then that's probably something I need to touch at some point. Am I going to get scared, Adam? Will it scare the pants off of me?
Yes, like there's actually a documentary that you can watch, like when it's all done, about how they implemented scares in the game, and they actually brought in like test subjects and like hooked them up to like heart monitors and stuff and made them play parts of the game. And if they didn't get the reaction they wanted at certain sections, they just keep on fine tuning it and running people through those sections over and over again until it was like effectively scary.
That's that's an amazing way to get that done. I approve of those
Lovely,
methods.
Yeah, that
lovely.
was really cool.
No? I
Um, yeah, it's a game that's interesting me. So I think in your review you mention its likeness to Heavy Rain,
Yeah,
right?
I think that's probably the most obvious comparison if you're going to compare it to something.
Okay, so then, yeah, I think I'll probably enjoy it then because like I feel like in Heavy Rain, or at least what I imagine Until Dawn is like I've not watched any gameplay because I do want to play it and I don't want to spoil anything,
mhm.
but
Right.
um, I imagine it as like just kind of a you move forward, you just kind of progress things, you maybe find something, look at something that kind of changes a choice or the development of the
Hmm.
story or the game. And then there's a quick time event which either you fail or win at and then it progresses, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty fair statement. I think it feels like it's a really branching path. I think part of what you're starting to see is that this is really seeming to kind of like gel with people because it's like a real water cooler game because like so the people here at several people at the site have all played it, and we've
Yeah.
just had a blast just talking about because we've all had like completely different experiences because you have 8 characters that you play as throughout the game, and basically everybody could live, everybody could die, or any combination thereof in the middle. Like for instance, I got out with I think three people alive at the end. and it's just very interesting to talk to other people about how they got to that point, because the game can diverge wildly depending on what you do and don't do.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I get that, and like Heavy Rain was the same way. I really thought it was an amazing game. A lot of people did, but I'm not in the minority in that sense. I'm just what bugs me about horror games is like the Twitch reaction aspect to it, and I like freaks me out when I can't see behind me or react fast enough, and like it like just ruins it for me. Like I just can't handle it. It's too much going on at once. It's too much suspense, too much to handle at once. So I think that this might be a nice happy medium for me, because horror movies don't freak me out. In fact, Alien is one of my favorite movies. So like that's not really my issue.
Well, I had to speak to that, Jordan, and just to kind of flesh out where I come from reviewing it. I admittedly am not the hugest survival horror fan. That probably wouldn't be in my top picks of like genres of games I like. I'm like you. I like constantly getting stressed out because things are jumping out at me and stuff. Because I want to enjoy playing my game. I don't want to be freaked out the entire time. But given that was so good, its style was its style amazing, and it told such a good story that I got past that.
Yeah.
Because I was enjoying what it was doing so much that I was willing to suffer through being scared like every few minutes or so, because what they were doing was so good.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I can appreciate that, and I think I'm going to play that game at some point in the future. Once Metal Gear Solid 5 gets its dirty claws off me.
That'll be a while.
It'd be a great October game.
Yeah, that might be a thing.
Yeah. So what about you, Jordan? What have you been up to?
Actually, this weekend was a very low gaming weekend for me. I was really busy with a bunch of other stuff, but on Friday night, I did stream on this channel the Ground Zeroes Metal Gear, which was okay. I mean, it's an enjoyable game, but I'm saying the quality of the stream was middling. Adam, you were there. Were you there for the whole thing?
I was there for part of it.
Okay, yeah, it was. It was fun. My wife was there berating Metal Gear the entire time, which was nice actually. But at the end, I didn't realize that the cutscene at the end is actually like it blocks broadcasting, like nobody can watch it.
Oh.
Oh.
So they're like Konami's like, spoilers everyone, we're gonna ruin it. So yeah, that's what I did basically. And I did actually get these close to finishing the original Metal Gear.
Nice.
So
very nice.
And that has a nice little where I'm at right now. It's gotten really interesting with what they were doing. I didn't realize that the game was as close to Metal Gear Solid in gameplay as it is. Like just kind of all of the different ways that it asks the player to interact with it were really interesting. So that was a very pleasant surprise for me.
Very nice, very nice. Sounds like a good productive weekend.
Mostly.
Mostly. I mean, who doesn't love some spousal bonding over making fun of Snake and his gravelly voice?
Well, it wasn't really bonding. She was more destroying any hope of her actually enjoying the series that I love.
Okay.
Better, to be fair, ever since like Keith Sutherland took over the role of Snake, it seems like his voice is substantially less gravelly.
Yeah. She was commenting on the quality of Kiefer Sutherland's voice, actually, Adam. So
at any point, go ahead.
As you can tell, there were sparks flying. Not the good kind.
At any point, did she just start calling Snake Jack Bauer?
No, she didn't, because I don't think she would understand that reference. But yeah, but she was making a lot of Snake coming jokes.
You've got a keeper there, sir.
Yeah, she's a good one.
Who has not made a joke like that before?
Yeah.
Well, my week.
I'll let you, Miles. Can I guess?
Go ahead, take your guess. Yeah, there was some Destiny. There's been some Destiny. It was actually mostly doctor's appointments, but there
Oh,
was some
Oh.
Destiny in there. Not anything serious, just like
okay.
normal things that you have to do over the year.
I was
Um,
scared.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, no,
yeah.
I'm not sick. Um, so yeah, just video games in terms of video games, Destiny. That's pretty much been it. Taken King. I'm getting more and more hyped every day.
So let me ask you a question, Miles, just because I think Destiny has been the answer ever since I think we probably started the new Rebranded podcast. Taken King comes out. What is the next game after that you foresee yourself spending time playing? Like, what is the next thing coming out that will take you away from Destiny?
The
Binding of
Taken King
Isaac.
2.
That's a fair answer. But Binding of Isaac Afterbirth is actually supposed to be coming out soon. I know that's a disgusting name. But
I didn't even realize it was called that.
yeah, that's what the next DLC is called. And I am hyped for that on a much lower level, but I am still hyped for it because I love Binding of Isaac. So there you go. My two favorite games are coming out with content right after one another. So
Excellent.
I have my days planned out. Yep. So if that's all we've been doing, shall we move on to the news for this week? Last week?
We shall.
Yes.
For the past week.
The past week. The news from nowhere. Long ago in a distant land.
That's ending now.
So,
He always sounds like one of those like, news announcers from like the 1930s film, like newsreels that shows the movie.
that's what I'm going for.
It needs to be a little grainier, though.
If I had like a grainier filter I could put on my
Right.
mouth, I
Yeah,
would
just
do
like a
it.
little
But
bit of static.
I don't even know how I would begin to try to do that. I'll do it off camera sometime.
Work on it. Ask Jack Bauer. Maybe he'll tell you.
Yeah, I'll see how he gets
Yeah.
his graveliest voice. So, surprising no one, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt has sold many, many copies, and its sales have surpassed 6 million in its first 6 weeks. So, a little hand of applause for CD Projekt Red for
Oh, a little hand.
little hand. I don't even know if it's in the camera. I can't see my screen right now. But yeah, so that's the biggest piece of the news. Let's be honest, just because like that surprised anyone. I mean, The Witcher 3 is amazing and has been amazing everyone with its amazingness and its amazing things. So, but yeah, the company earned 237 million PLN, which I assume is their moon money, which equates to 63.3 million USD in net profit for the first half of 2015. So yeah, that is impressive. Hopefully that'll be put towards Cyber Project. What is that game called? Cyberpunk 2033? Does anybody know?
It sounds like it could be it.
Cyberpunk numbers.
Wikipedia.
We'll go with that. We'll
Yeah.
go with that.
We'll just call it Cyberpunk because I know there's numbers, but I don't know what they are. So yeah. They noted that Witcher 3 performed well digitally and retail, so that's good to actually get some kind of semblance of how digital sales are going. And on top of that, just a little bit of information. I know we covered this already, but the final free DLC is finally launched, so I guess that means that CD Projekt Red can officially mark The Witcher 3 off for right now and be like, we made this. It was amazing. We came, we saw, we destroyed. Now we can work on Cyberpunk. Well,
Not quite, I don't think, because then don't they have the expansions still coming out?
is there an expansion?
There are 2 expansions they have planned.
Oh, there's 2 expansions. Okay, clearly I was wrong. I've not been looking into this game enough, even though I own it.
Yeah, I own it too. But yeah, I feel so guilty because I bought the game and the expansions at the same time,
Ooh.
and I've not played it at all. Like I played it maybe 2 or 3 hours, and it's just like if that's part of the reason why I know I really need to go back to it, but also it's obviously a really good game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of eating away at me from the inside out.
I'm happy I didn't pay for it. I guess not that I pirated it. We don't condone that. My friend gave it to me. But yeah, I can understand that though. Like we've said it before, Witcher 3 is an amazing and very, very, very in-depth and large game that you need to have time to set aside for. And if you
Yeah.
don't, then you're probably not going to enjoy it as much as you would if you just, I don't know, maybe not stop playing everything else, but stop playing most of everything else you're playing for a little while you're playing it.
And now
Just me.
Metal Gear and Fallout 4 are coming out, so really who has
Exactly.
time?
Yeah. It'll have to wait until like 10 years from now once those have completely exhausted their content.
Basically.
But yeah, that was just, I guess, a little left hook
It
to
was a
start us
nice,
off.
it was a nice little,
It wasn't my left hand.
aperitif. Okay, so
In fact,
Go for it.
point of fact, real quick. Cyberpunk 2077.
2077.
you're so close, Myles.
Yep.
I had the build right. I knew it was 20 and then two numbers that were the same, but I didn't know which ones. Darn me. Darn me and my bad memory.
All right, so we'll move on from there.
Yeah,
The next story is that an Australian store, is adding Kojima's name back on the Metal Gear Solid 5 games. So, in case you have not been following this at all, or you're unaware of what's going on, Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, Kojima's name and Kojima Productions has been removed from it by Konami due to various things that we are unsure about, but they've had some sort of falling out. And thanks to Kotaku, who noticed the first images back in July, it was revealed that Kojima's name had been removed from box art, so blah, 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 we know that. Reading this from IGN, sorry. But the Australian home retailer JB Hi-Fi has begun adding Hideo Kojima's name to the Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain displays in stores across the country. Konami has had tumultuous year after blah blah blah. So it's basically the whole story, but like, yeah, I think it's nice. You know, it's another little palate cleanser for our audience is that there is justice in the world.
Yeah. I mean, this is really awesome. Like, I mean, I know it's not really, I guess, professional to do this because, I mean, it's not, let's be honest. But
No, it's not.
I see it as, like, respectful. They're like, this dude, this big name was working on this game. Whether or not Konami wants people to know that, even though everyone knows it. And I do love how it's like, I think I would like it more if they had taken like a little sticker that just said Hideo Kojima and put it on every single box. But yeah, it's just like tasteful display where they just have the name and the big yellow box. It's just like, yeah, good on you guys.
For me, like, I know that it doesn't happen with everyone, and it's different in the video game industry, but it was so notable that they removed his name from it. Like, it was advertised that way. All the other games have been sold that way. And like, you wouldn't see an author's name getting removed from a book.
True.
Like, it was a little odd, to say the least. But yeah, I think it's cool that they're doing it. I think it's cool that there's all this box art that's coming out for people to put onto their own. I just did it myself today. So, and it's got the Hideo Kojima logo, all that stuff, the Fox engine.
No, I don't think when you showed it earlier, I don't think that's going to be in the podcast. So you want to hold it up so people know what you're talking about?
Yeah. So there are a couple of different ones that are out there right now. There's actually one that's really funny. I didn't do this one, but it's got like Hideo Kojima like kind of like hiding in the corner, and it's like quote by Hideo Kojima. Hideo Kojima made this game. It's like really funny.
That's wonderful.
But this is, I think, so get without glare. This is the new and improved. What's out on the webs right now. I think DualShockers debuted the story. I might be wrong about that, but I know they have an article on it. And that's compared to this back. So it's print ready. It was really easy to do. Just take an X-Acto knife and 4 sides and stuff it in there.
Nice. I actually like that cover more. What do you think about this, Adam?
The game is pretty awesome from what I've played from it so far. It's a culmination of Kojima's work, and he deserves to get credit for it. So, let me dick Konami.
Yeah. JB Hi-Fi fighting the power, putting the knuckles to the man.
Never heard of you before. Never heard of you before, JB Hi-Fi, but now I do.
Well, we don't live in Australia, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah. So next story time, I believe.
Adam.
Yes, the September Xbox games with gold have been announced. For the Xbox One, very wisely, they are going to be allowing people to play Tomb Raider: The Definitive Edition for free. And then for Xbox 360 owners, they get Battle Stations Pacific and Crisis 3.
That is
Not a shock.
Go ahead.
Good, Miles.
Oh, I was
I
just
was
gonna
going to
say.
say, not really a shocker on the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got two very good games, Crisis 3 and Tomb Raider. That would actually make me happy to have that service for once in the X amount of not years, X amount of months they've been doing games with gold.
Now, I might be wrong about this, but like every time I hear about the games with gold, it seems like there is, granted, probably a game that everybody already owns, but a AAA title, like at least one, or like pretty regularly. Maybe not every time, but pretty regularly. There's something that's like a bigger game that comes out, and I don't have it. I don't have an Xbox, but. When compared to the PlayStation Plus games, which are all good games, I've never really been disappointed with my PlayStation Plus games.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't seem like it seems like they're both going for different crowds, or that they're approaching different developers or companies. Is that just me?
You could be right, yeah.
That seems fair. It definitely feels like Xbox or Microsoft was definitely it feels like they were the first one to start offering like AAA next gen games.
Yeah.
Because I think they jumped that road because because I think PlayStation 4 has done something. I mean, you could argue whether or not First Light was considered a AAA title, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that they did like they had the Rayman game one month.
Yeah.
But they haven't. I don't think they haven't done like Knack or anything like that. People
I
are
mean,
predicting they're gonna make Knack.
I hesitate to say AAA just because I don't. I think that term is starting to go away, since a lot of indie
Hmm.
games are considered AAA these days.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Right.
but bigger budget, maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah.
higher marketing budget, higher advertising, games from bigger studios. I seem to find that
That's
more on the games with gold than you do on PlayStation Plus. I can't remember the last PlayStation Plus full game. And I agree, First Light is probably a really good example, but like an entire game that they're giving away, not just like a standalone expansion.
you're talking like a $50 or $60 game initial retail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess catch up, PlayStation.
Yeah, but I think that's a valid point, Miles. Is I think that really in this general, Microsoft has been the one having to catch up,
True.
and
Yeah.
so maybe they have they have to make bigger leaps because Sony doesn't necessarily need to do as much because it's got a healthy lead.
Very, very true.
Well, they're also going, like I said, I think they're going for completely different crowds. Like I think that the the games with gold that I've seen have always been out for a while. The games have been out for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, with this month's Grow Home is coming out. Has that come out on anything else prior to that? I mean, that's a new game, isn't it?
I think so. Not
Yeah, I
Last
absolutely.
think it did just come out.
last month it was the little racy car game.
Rocket League.
Yes, thank you. Rocket League was just came out on that too. Was that a new game too?
That I think. Yeah, I think so. Apparently, Grow Home came out in February. I guess
Okay,
it was on
Hmm.
PC in February.
okay, okay. But I mean, there have been new games that have been debuted on PlayStation Plus. I don't know that I've seen that on Xbox One. So I mean, it's a give and take, and there are definitely pros and cons to both. I mean, I know a lot of people get pissed off with the PlayStation Plus games because they think that they've gotten ripped off because they already own those games. I can see the same argument for getting Tomb Raider.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, in the end, it is just a bunch of free titles that you can play. I mean,
Well, free.
free. I mean,
Yeah.
if you really think about it, it's like, yeah, that's like way. At some point, the $60 you paid for your year subscription is like way overshadowed by the amount of games you get
True.
if you like redeem even one a month, I guess. So not
It's a
way
good value.
overshadowed, but yeah,
It's a good value.
yeah.
So let's be fair though for this particular month. Microsoft is not making Tomb Raider Definition a free game out of the goodness of their heart. I guarantee you they're doing it because they want to make sure each and every person possible is familiar with that new franchise before Tomb Raider or Rise of the Tomb Raider drops in November to inevitably be crushed by Fallout 4.
No, I mean it's a yeah, right. It's an excellent marketing idea. Yeah, that was a given. That was a great idea for whoever came up with it,
Yeah.
and something that really would have been a loss had they not.
True.
And just once again to state, I'm not hating on your Rise of the Tomb Raider and Square Enix. It looks like a great game. I will definitely play it.
After Uncharted
Release
4.
window is very unfortunate.
Yeah. I
Maybe
mean,
in December. I think in December.
yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to hate on Square Enix right now. We can hate on them later in the podcast on another topic. But are we ready to move on, gents, to the next story?
Let's move on.
All right. So, in the same vein of games with, it is my turn, right? Yeah, I think so. In the same vein of games with gold, the PlayStation Plus titles for September have been revealed. So we're looking at. I am filling time. Grow Home will be available for PlayStation 4 at the start of the month. Additionally, Super Time Force Ultra, which seems pretty cool. Zeo Drifter, I have no idea what that is, and Teslagrad will be free for both PlayStation 4 and Vita owners. And those on Sony's handheld can also look forward to La Mulana EX, which is a difficult platforming game. And for PlayStation 3, you have Eat, Sleep, Play's car combat game, Twisted Metal. Wow, really? Huh. Okay, I did not know
You
that.
didn't know about Twisted Metal?
No, I knew Twisted Metal was a thing, but like I didn't know their
Yeah.
developer was called Eat Sleep Play. I was like expecting something peaceful like Flower or Journey, not Twisted Metal. um, so yeah, that's honestly I think the biggest title on here, personally for me, in my opinion. Of course, I'm saying this would be Twisted Metal, which makes me a little sad that I can't get it because I love Twisted Metal. But oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think? You ready to play as some Shuhei Yoshida in Super Time Force? I think that's what he was in. I hope so.
Yeah, I'm excited for the new games. However, I got a question for you guys on this. Did you guys vote for the vote to play? Like the first thing that we can do that we can vote to play for this next PlayStation Plus.
Yes.
Do you remember what you voted for?
Oh.
Adam.
I remember being disappointed, honestly. Like I knew it was like the first time they're doing this, but I remember looking at the options and just being like, none of this is anything I actually care about. So I think I just looked them up and I was like, I think I voted for Grow Home. I think just because I was like, that's the most interesting looking thing out of this list of 4 or 5 games I don't really care about.
I took my choice very seriously.
Uh-huh.
I watched the trailers for all of them and read all of them. And I felt I chose the right thing because Armello looked awesome.
Armello.
And then I know it's been out on PC already, but I don't play PC, so I got to the end after voting and saw like how many people had voted for Grow Home, and I was like, oh well, then I guess my option's not going to win. But no, it's a cool idea. I like the idea, even though it was nabbed. And Grow Home looks like fun. So they all look like good options. Although I didn't actually take that back. I didn't like the Zombie Vikings game. That was not going to happen.
Now let me just ask you this, Armello. This looks like Catan, honestly. So explain a little bit of Armello is, since a lot of people will probably
remember.
Never mind. I guess the people who are never going to play it because it wasn't free this month will just have to live in.
Just go play Grow Home.
Yeah, there you go. Armello is Grow Home. Not really. Don't quote me on that one. Any opinions on this, Adam? Anything you're happy to see, angry to see?
It was like if the presidential election and my only choice was Trump, I just kind of shrugged and said, "All right, whatever, I'm walking away."
That's a very good comparison.
I've heard good things about Grow Home. I'll definitely download it. I have like this infinitely long log of PlayStation Plus games. I don't know if I'm ever going to get to them because
Mhm.
I just like download them compulsively, and then I find something that takes up more of my time. Metal Gear Solid 5, for instance, and so yeah, so we'll see. Uh, mm
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel. The only time I really play my PlayStation Plus games is if I'm just sitting there. I've done everything in my other games. I'm just like, let's just start playing like the first 10 minutes of these, and the ones that actually catch me will stay on my hard drive.
Yeah, I did that with. I've had Injustice: Gods Among Us on my
Mm.
place, in my download list, like forever. And a friend of mine came over one day, and we were it was just the two of us hanging out, and I was like, "You guys, you want to try Injustice?" Well, he had never played it before. He had never played it. We just
Mm.
like messed around in it and had a good time. But I will probably never play that game again.
I I made my friend not want to ever play that game again. Night one, like the first night it came out, I beat him 130 times, and he beat me 0 times. He was very angry when he went back to his dorm room.
How did you play through 130 games?
Because it was like it's relatively quick, and it was just like we just kept playing. I think at some point it was just like it wasn't anymore that we were playing to have fun. He was playing to beat me, and I just wasn't losing. So he just kept going until it was like 3 a.m. and he just like put down the controller. Was like, "I'm going to bed. I'm leaving." He left. I was like, "I
I
I I have to question the quality of your friendship, Miles. That
well,
you like out of 130 games, you could just slip one by and let him have like a shred of dignity.
I don't give anyone a free win."
Miles just played the same character the entire time and just like
Nope.
owned because he knew that character.
I went through the whole roster. I played everyone at least once. We aren't friends anymore. Oh
We,
god.
my friend and I, like just we went through the whole roster. We wanted to try every character, and we honestly didn't really completely understand the game. There were mechanics that we didn't get, blocking for one, and uh, although we did come to the conclusion that Catwoman was completely off limits because she's ridiculous.
Kinda.
Just the speed is ridiculous,
Yeah.
especially for people who don't know how to block.
You're saying all truths here. I can't disagree with anything.
I'm going to say a statement that you've probably never heard anybody say before. Aquaman was my favorite.
Aquaman was really good, actually. He
I
In
was
the
don't know.
game, yeah,
he was good.
What was his like little
his little
super
like
thing?
stabby.
The his super move is X-ray, if you will, or
That's all it is.
I mean, which
No, I mean
specific?
like when he like I don't know like fatality
Oh, like
miss.
okay, yeah. So essentially, his like the one where you pull down both the triggers. He like summons a tidal wave that like sends you flying, and eventually a shark comes out of nowhere and bites you, and it it's not all that fantastic, but it was kind of awesome just to see a shark biting Superman. I don't like
See,
Superman. Fun
I
facts.
would have I would probably if it was my decision to design the game,
Hmm.
I probably would have gone with swordfish, like two of them,
Hmm.
like that.
That would
Yeah.
be way more brutal, actually.
Shark seems like the obvious choice. Like
It does.
go with even piranha would have been a little cheap.
This is true. Oh, just a school of piranhas. Just that would be a fatality. Yeah, no one comes back from that. Also, this is now the Mong Injustice podcast. Welcome.
Absolutely. We know how to get tangential.
Yes. But
All
we
right,
should move on.
we'll
Does
move
the ocean actually have piranhas?
Hmm?
I was
Is
just, I'm
the ocean? The
sorry.
ocean?
I was just saying, does the ocean actually have piranhas?
I
Aren't
don't.
they like in like rivers?
I think so.
Yeah, I think they are.
He's Aquaman. He'll just call them from the rivers.
It's
There you go.
it's not specific to the ocean. He's not like Poseidon.
This is true. He can go into any
Well,
body of water.
I kind of hope that's the truth, but I do hope that like that Aquaman's got some like poor knockoff cousin that's like king of rivers, and maybe a slow cousin who's like in charge of lakes.
Isn't there a guy like that on the Animal Planet?
Hmm?
River Monsters guy?
Oh, okay. I was like, are we still talking DC Comics? 'Cause you just hit something I don't know anything about.
Yeah. Okay, we're moving on.
Yeah, we should.
Yes. Oh wait.
All right. So, I wrote a story about this a little while back, so I was really interested in hearing the results of it.
Mhm.
A few months ago, you may have heard something about the PlayStation Vita, which would have been surprising because you usually don't hear things about the PlayStation Vita. And it was that there was a settlement or a lawsuit going down because the Vita had a wee bit of bad advertising. Um, so here's how the story goes. The FTC pursued Sony over false advertising related to the Vita's remote play feature and online play over 3G, available on some models.
Mhm.
The settlement site went live in April, offering eligible Vita owners $25 cash, $25 in PlayStation Store credit, or one of 3 game bundles for the PlayStation 3 and Vita. For those opting for store credit or games, your emails should contain redemption codes. We've not received word from any opting for cash, but if you did, keep your eye on the mail. You had to have qualified in a certain time period and bought the Vita new and then filled out all this crap to
Mhm.
qualify for this. But it does seem unfortunate that this news came out or just bad planning that this news came out just as they're releasing a new color of the Vita in North America.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
I mean, honestly, the people who are gonna, I think the people who would just buy a Vita for no reason, like they're not gamers, they're just gonna buy a Vita. I think those people have probably come and gone by now. Let's be
Yeah,
honest. Vita's a good system, but it's got really poor sales and attachment rate. Or I don't think it has a bad attachment rate, just bad sales. But so anyone who's gonna buy this Vita probably already has a Vita or is a gamer and is like, I want a Vita. I want diversity. Like I really wanted to get one of the red or blue ones from Japan because they look awesome, but
yep,
they were like $300 extra to get my hands on. So I was like,
yep.
no. But honestly, like I mean, not to completely derail the topic, that Vita looks sexy. The blue one.
I agree.
It
I
is a
agree.
very
I
pretty Vita.
I bought my Vita on eBay because I'm cheap,
Mhm.
and there was one that I had my eye on that I was really tempted to get. And obviously, I think if you're getting a Vita, you're getting it in with Persona 4 Golden in mind. Uh,
Yeah.
and it was a blue one, and it came with Persona 4 Golden. And I was like,
Nice.
that would have been amazing, but I didn't get it because the bids went sky high.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love my Vita though.
Vita's a good system. Someone's gonna buy the blue
Yes.
one just 'cause it's blue.
Go get the blue one. It looks pretty.
You should buy Vita. Make them make more games.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I know.
Myles,
Me. Oh,
next door.
okay, yeah. I guess we can
No,
move
wait,
on.
no, it's Adam.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
Adam.
Oh,
Adam, sorry,
you
I
throwing
think.
me off?
Sorry.
I exist. It's a thing.
S-
Uh, Bosky's first game is gravity-defying Lawbreakers. Cliff Belinsky's new studio, Bosky, has released a trailer for a game called Lawbreakers. It's a game that takes place in the future where weird gravity things are going on, and it's like a 5-on-5 shooter that's free to play where you play as either cops or lawbreakers and you fight.
Robbers.
Yeah, cops and robbers.
Cops and
Well,
robbers.
they're lawbreakers. They're gangs. They break all the laws. No, what are you doing, Cortana? Please don't do that. I don't understand.
What?
Windows 10, complete sidetrack. Windows 10 has like Cortana built into it. So, it can be activated by voice. And sometimes I'll look down in the corner of my screen and Cortana's just down there searching something up and I have to keep talking or she'll finish the search and then talk. And I'm like, what are you doing? What is making you think I'm asking you for something?
Myles is still trying to stop Cortana.
I am. I mean, I could just turn her off, but like, I feel like one day I'm just gonna be sitting here, be completely lazy. My arms don't want to move. I'll be like, Cortana, Cortana, help me. But yeah, I watched the trailer that detailed some of the classes for Lawbreakers. Um, it's free to play, so I guess I can't say anything too bad about it.
Mm,
It it
mm,
looks it looks interesting enough that I'll probably give it a try, but
okay,
I'm not too sold on it, even though I loved Gears.
okay. I will withhold judgment until things happen with it. But I don't want to say free-to-play games are bad, because it's not true. There are good free-to-play games. And I think that the people who say that a game is bad before it is ever released just because it's announced as free-to-play are dumb people. You're dumb people. Don't do that. But I will admit that it makes me hesitant. I mean, obviously, there's nothing wrong with trying it, and I would try it, but yeah.
Well, Adam, you got any opinions on Cliff Bleszinski's next outing?
The name sounds made up.
I know.
Not really a competitive multiplayer type of person, so I am completely unfazed.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know one thing I want to note. One of the characters starts with a rocket launcher. I need to know how they're gonna make that. Yeah, I need to know how they're gonna make that make sense and not be just everyone just plays as that guy and just shoots rockets everywhere. But anyway, good luck
What they
on
don't
that.
tell you. What they don't tell you is it's Galahorn.
No, it's getting nerfed. Don't hurt me. But yeah, so good luck on that Cliffy B and the Boss Key, I guess. Make gears, whatever things. So
Now it's actually your turn, Myles.
yeah, now it is because you're not trying to
Yes.
confuse me. You person, you. So Mortal Kombat X for PS3 and Xbox 360 have officially been canceled, which again, one of those not all that surprising things considering that it's been more than a month or stop it IGN. It's been a few months I think since it came out, right?
Yeah, probably close to 3 months. I'd say.
3 months, yeah. So yeah, and I quote, after months of development, Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment has come to the regrettable conclusion that we cannot release Mortal Kombat X for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Please know our teams worked diligently to meet the quality standards set by the current gen versions of the game. We are not able to get the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions to the quality expected of a Mortal Kombat game, and are very sorry for not being able to deliver the products as originally planned. And that was said by a community admin, Yorick. One name, like share, Yorick, on WB Games' community blog. Anyone who pre-ordered it on either of the old consoles should go to the retailer to get their refund. Pretty straightforward. So yeah, it's currently on the current gen systems because current is current.
It is correct.
Yeah, I guess at this point, this is one of those things. It's just like if you don't have a current gen system, you should probably get a current gen system.
Yeah.
Because these things are powerful enough that we're gonna probably run into this issue, more than once in the coming months, probably.
Well, I haven't looked into it much because the game just came out today, but I was really surprised to find out that the Phantom Pain came out on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 because it looks pretty, and I don't know how those systems are handling it or what it looks like on that. I'm really interested to find out. I might have to look it up after this.
Oh my god, we now know why they got rid of Kojima. See, here's what went down. No one actually believed this because this is not true. I'm just joking around. I need you to take your face out of the camera first. What really went down is this was Konami's plan. They were teaming up with the big dogs, Microsoft, Sony, and Microsoft and Sony, and that wasn't even intentional.
Nintendo's there too.
They were trying to melt down all of the old consoles by trying to make them play Metal Gear Solid 5 at current gen specs. And Kojima was just like, no, you're not using my game to kill millions of consoles out there. And Konami's just like, fine, it's not your game anymore. Get out of here, kid. You're not worth it anyway. Get out of here. And of course, this is not true at all. I'm just saying things because they're funny, kind of.
Myles, it's not a conspiracy theory if you end it by saying this is not true at all.
I started it by saying it's not true at all.
This whole thing sounds so sort of going to be a Kojima storyline in and of itself.
We're just
we
living
need like a cut scene.
Oh god, if we had like a big, if we were all in one place and we had like a big dedicated video department, I would love to see this made into like just one cutscene. Just nonsensical.
Yeah.
Konami's trying to destroy consoles.
Konami isn't, but segue. Japan is trying to destroy games. I'm going to get you there. Okay, so Japan is at it again, censoring violent scenes in modern games. Can you guess which game, Adam?
Was it the one that I just recently reviewed, perchance?
No.
You did recently review multiple games. You'd have to be a little bit more specific.
Could it possibly be Supermassive's cult hit Until Dawn?
It is indeed.
Yes.
The reasons are different for each game, but everything can be boiled down to violence and sex. Previous examples of this include The Order 1886, Evil Within, and Metal Gear Solid. Because everyone knows you need to plug Metal Gear Solid if you're posting anything on the internet these days.
Pretty much.
We're not going to get too far into it because there are spoilers, and I don't want things spoiled, and I don't think you do either. But Japan done that. They done censored
They done that.
Until Dawn. How do you feel about this, Adam?
I saw the scene they censored, and it's kind. I've got kind of an arched eyebrow about that because, and then a bunch of static because everything I would say at that point has to be redacted because it just came out, and I don't want to spoil anything. So we will say that in some of those scenes, everything is what it seems, and so it's interesting. It's a conversation for another time.
Would you say that it's especially violent, or is that actually something you can't even talk about?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's fairly violent. I mean, it's up there with the standard of like 2000 horror films. Like it's something you'd see in like a Saw movie, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But like I said, there's some stuff that goes on later that, anyways, enough said that I am a little surprised that they censor what they did.
Oh, okay. So is it like what? Does it mess with plot?
No, not really. Not really. From what I understand, I mean, you have a pretty clear idea what's going on. They're just kind of edited in such a way that they didn't have to show it as graphically as it is in the U.S. version.
Got it.
They like blacked out over the scene in question. So yeah, I mean, I guess every nation has to have its line in the sand when it comes to violence and sex in their media.
Japan's is just kind of farther back than most countries.
I don't know. I feel like Japan's is kind of like wonky. Like, I'm not saying this to be like rude or insensitive or whatever you want to call it, but some of the stuff that comes out of Japan is like, I feel like is stuff that's just like, wait, what? When did that happen to things that look like that? um, there's no like clean way to put it.
Well, okay, like to be direct, they're like censoring the violence in Until Dawn, but this is the same country that gave us movies like Old Boy
Exactly.
and Battle Royale, which is about a bunch of like little kids like stranded and forced to kill one another. I mean, like they've put out some very violent stuff, and so it is a little surprising that all of a sudden this is something they're going to take a stand on, and rather than just mark it as mature, move on.
Exactly.
Was Old Boy Japan?
Yes.
Okay.
Old Boy was a lot of things are.
I want to say that it was Korean, but I might be wrong about that.
Wikipedia that. Hold on. Fill space.
Fill space with cookies and cream pies and.
Tell us more about this conspiracy theory.
Video
Myles.
games. The conspiracy theories that Konami's evil and they do bad things to people in locked rooms. I don't know.
That's not really a conspiracy theory. That's just kind of what it's like working there.
You're not wrong. That's the sad part. Anyway, but yeah. Do we have a verdict?
Ooh, I was wrong. It is indeed South Korea.
Oh.
Yes, you did.
See, I thought Old Boy was Japan as well, so that was.
See, but to make up for it, Adam's wearing the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
There you go. They would censor that. That shirt is too violent. But yes.
He's going to destroy New York. That's not okay.
Yeah. Well, Oh wow! Imagine if that had come out after. No, never mind. We're not going to talk about that.
No, that's bad.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Moving on.
Anyway,
Adam
Adam.
or Myles?
I think
Adam.
it's Adam.
It's Adam. It's Adam.
Yes, it is.
Would you believe that game delays are a thing?
No.
Never.
Well, its victim of game delay is XCOM 2, the top strategy game from Firaxis, has been delayed to February 5th, 2016. In a statement, they said, with XCOM 2, we want to have more depth, more replayability, and more investment in your soldiers, and this extension will give us time we need to deliver on our promise to you. Firaxis also added, we appreciate your patience and continue to support as we move towards February.
Well, I mean, games do get delayed.
How dare they? How dare they work hard on a game?
Yeah.
Take their time with it. Make sure it's not broken. Jerks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think at this point that.
Do you guys?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, did either of you guys play XCOM?
Yes, actually, I did actually enjoy XCOM. I never finished it, unfortunately. Simply because I got lazy, and it's one of the games where I was like really into for a week, and then I found other things to do, even though it's a really good game. We really need our mods back in this channel, but uh, yeah, XCOM is a good game. It has solid mechanics, very very solid, and I really enjoy the customization. And it's very good that they're delaying it. Honestly, like I know some people, for some reason, still get all crazy salty over like, oh, they're delaying this. It's like delays are normally good. Normally the people delaying it know what needs to be done, and it's good that they're doing so. The only game that like needs to go ahead and come out is like Star Citizen, but that's because that's a whole other topic. It's been a while.
The game's never coming out.
I hope so. They have millions of dollars of people's money, so they probably need to give them something. But
yeah, I never played XCOM, but I was always really interested in it because it seems like it'd be right up my alley because I like the idea and I like strategy games and I like upgrading stuff. And that all sounds like a good time to me, but I never had a system that would be able to handle it. Like, I think didn't one come out on PlayStation 3? Maybe one of them.
Yeah, XCOM, like Enemy Unknown Forward came out on consoles.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that looks like a fun game. And then I played something else. And I was just kind of waiting until price drops and stuff. And then horrible things happened to my PlayStation 3. And I never had a console or system of any sort that could handle it. Konami melted my PlayStation 3.
God darn it, Konami.
It was actually Naughty Dog, but that's an old story.
They're all working together? Yeah, Adam, you excited for XCOM 2 at all?
Yeah, like I played some of the first one and I liked the style, like what it's all about. Didn't get super far, and like the reason is it was like it was kind of too stressful of a game for me to play. Just like the fact that, like if your characters get killed, they stay dead, and then you have to continue on and try to get new characters and stuff. Which, okay, I know is ironic because I've been raving about Until Dawn all podcast, but that's kind of meant to play like that. This one is kind of more like you could done fuck up and then you're done for, and so that was a little bit too much stress for me.
It's too real.
I understand that perfectly. I know one of the worst things is when one of your soldiers gets scared and then won't follow your commands anymore.
What?
Yeah,
What?
your soldiers, if they get to a certain health point or health threshold, will be feared essentially, and they'll panic and they won't follow commands, or they'll follow, like, I think there's a chance they'll follow what you're telling them to do, but most of the time they're just going to go ahead and run around like chickens with their heads cut off. And I lost one of my most seasoned soldiers that way because he panicked and I couldn't like retrieve his body to save him.
So it's kind of like when you train a Pokemon too high before getting the right badge level.
Yes, except for they're panicking because their loss of blood is probably getting kind of high, and a Pokemon not listening to you is just because it's a douche.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, XCOM 2 looks like it's shaping up well though. The delay's a good thing. That's all there is. Yeah.
What's it coming out for?
I believe it's coming out on the modern consoles. And PC most likely, but let's check just to be absolutely sure.
Yeah, because I would imagine it's coming out on PC. It was always a PC game.
Yeah. I don't know why this article isn't loading. There we go. It is going to be coming out for right now. It's just Linux, Mac, and PC. But considering the last 3 titles have come out for consoles, I wouldn't say that that's not happening because they're pretty successful in consoles. Like honestly, they got the for RTS, they got the controls very well on controllers. Words.
Gamepad.
Gamepad, yeah, if you're a PC player. But moving on.
Moving on. I'm going to skip around because the next story didn't interest me all that much.
Wait, I thought it was my go.
I'm going to.
Yeah, it's Myles' turn.
It's Miles' turn. I'm not going anywhere.
Jordan?
Jordan's just like all over the place
I
today.
didn't think. I swear.
Do we like need to have our list, our like order somewhere on the podcast
I
where we
need
can
to
see it?
start like writing it down somewhere. Yeah.
Oh wait, we just go backwards from me. If you look at the MONG Podcast overlay, Miles, Jordan, Adam, Miles, Jordan. There we go. That's how I'm gonna remember it.
We'll have to actually look at that then.
Yeah. Well, Twitch stream or yeah, whatever. So, something that I never saw coming, honestly, even though it makes a little bit of sense. Lionsgate is developing a Borderlands movie with the Spider-Man producer.
Which Spider-Man producer?
Avi Arad. I'm butchering his name, I'm sure.
Well, not which producer, which Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man can do what a
I think
spider
the originals.
can.
The originals. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it, but it's probably right in front of me. But anyway, yeah. They're Avi Arad and his son Ari Arad are working on an adaptation to Borderlands. According to Variety magazine, Lionsgate is group co-chairs Rob Friedman, and I'm gonna stop saying names because no one recognizes them. Sorry, guys. Said
Somebody
that
might, Miles. Come on.
Rob Friedman and Patrick Washburger
Yeah, those guys.
the Borderlands games don't pull any punches. And we'll make the movie with the same in-your-face attitude that has made the series a blockbuster mega franchise. Avi Arad, I'm just going to start saying that, was the founder of Marvel Studios and was involved as a producer on most Marvel-based films, including Blade, X-Men, Spider-Man, Daredevil, and Fantastic Four. Ooh, that's a lot of
Daredevil,
really bad movies. Yeah, Daredevil the movie.
Oh.
And Fantastic Four.
Blade was good. Well, Blade 2 was good.
Blade 2 was alright, yeah. Through the debut of Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk, after leaving Marvel, he still remained a producer on the Spider-Man series at Sony. So I guess it's after the Incredible Hulk. So I guess that's the new series, I think.
I'm actually looking at a list. He did every Spider-Man film. He was a producer on every Spider-Man film.
All of them.
Including the horrible third one from the first series.
That movie doesn't exist.
It does. Lionsgate has been looking towards... Go ahead.
On a different podcast, I could make an argue for why I think Spider-Man 3 gets too much crap.
You could, and
no, Adam. Yeah. No, we're not getting into this. We're not getting into this. No.
Anyway, it was also reported last month that Lionsgate, who seems to be going after video game licenses, was in negotiations for a live-action Naruto movie. So that's a fun fact that no one wants to actually see. Yeah, it does kind of. But yeah, what do you guys think of Borderlands becoming a movie? Probably series. Let's be honest.
The HFH asks, is it going to be animated?
That's a good question. HFH. The article did not mention, unless I said it and didn't think about it, but I'm going to assume, since this dude has done a lot of stuff with live action. Yeah, I'm going to assume it would be live action.
That would be my guess, too. I mean, it doesn't really seem... Well, they might do an animated movie, but it seems like with that kind of a heft behind the name, like, they would do something.
Yeah.
Big budget.
And fun fact, I'm just going to mention this person. Mr. M.I. King has posted in the chat, or the comments of the article, Mad Max. And that's pretty accurate, let's be honest.
The HFH, who is our new awesome fan, is saying the same thing, that
Yeah.
it's going to be the same thing as Mad Max, only with comedy. Maybe it's the same person. That'd be
Oh.
incredible.
Yeah, Tom Hardy's a good actor. I like him.
I like Tom Hardy. I liked him in Mad Max, even though he had like 2 lines.
Just a lot of gruff. You.
Uh,
But yeah.
All right, so we are just about out of time here, but to wrap her up, we'll just do a quick story announcement for all y'all who watched all the way to the end, who listened all the way to the end, either or, whichever you are consuming your media on. Uncharted 4: Thief's End now has a release date of March 18th, 2016. I bet you're happy you stuck around and listened and watched or / yeah.
There's no other way to consume it. You watch or you listen. But yeah, that's good news. It'll probably get delayed, but that's good news.
And that may actually be what the rumor was back last week, I think, wasn't it?
Could be.
I think it was March 18th last week.
I think so.
Or it was in March and really close to that date.
I don't really remember. I don't pay attention to Uncharted news.
You don't rewatch all the podcasts, Myles? Come on.
I've seen all of them 50 times, so I was watching them before they were cool. But yeah, what do you folks think about that? I don't know what's coming out in that launch window. I'll be honest. I don't remember days and months very well. So, is that a good launch window? What do you think? Oh wait,
I get the feeling there's not going to be a lot going on around that time.
probably not.
Yeah, no. I think other games are going to try to stay away from Fallout or Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
No, if they're smart, they'd stay away from Fallout. But yeah.
Well, both honestly. Unless they're on like other consoles, then they're just like, hey, all the PlayStation. I don't know why I'm making motions because my camera's frozen. But yeah, they'll just be like, hey, all the PlayStation people got Uncharted. What are you gonna get, Mr. Nintendo? Guess you gotta settle for me.
You mean MII? What?
I respect that you got that connection, but I'm not happy with the joke. Oh man, but yeah, that's yeah. Let's see what's coming out in that time. This is like last story of the night. We can
Yeah.
I don't know what word I'm going to use, so I'm just going to not say anything.
Do this thing.
March 2016 video game releases.
18.
So while he's researching that,
Research.
Spider-Man 3.
Oh my god. Okay, it has the most
It was an
amazing
overcrowded
scene in the world, and Venom does not get nearly enough screen time.
It's true. I was very disappointed with that Venom.
Well, it was an overcrowded film. Venom should not have been in that film.
No,
I thought
Venom
that
should have been in that film. None of the other villains should have been in that film.
no, Venom should have been in the next film. Sandman was a well-developed character with a storyline. He should have been the centerpiece of that film. He brought an emotional core to the film. He was another good character that had that was a bad guy who had decent reasons for doing what he was trying to do.
Can I pause you for a second, Adam?
Yes.
Can we stop calling it a film?
Okay. I agree to that. We
God.
call it a movie. I also think that while not fitting with the traditional cast, like how people perceived Venom as, I actually thought Topher Grace was kind of a brilliant piece of casting because they basically wanted to make Venom essentially be kind of a mirror image of Peter Parker had his life just gone a little bit differently.
I agree in a lot of ways, and I think you make a lot of valid points, but it completely lost me when he started dancing in the bar.
Yep.
That was the end of it for me.
And see, that's the thing, though, is that didn't bother me, and the reason was I kind of felt in some ways it was serving a little bit as an homage to like the earlier roots of Spider-Man when it first started, like I believe it was in the 1960s. Have you read those comics? Those comics are campy as hell, and I thought that was kind of throwback to that.
Yeah, but it didn't match the rest of the series at all.
Okay, that's fair, but I don't. At the same time, I at least for me, I kind of at least saw what he was going for there. I think the biggest problem was overcrowded.
I absolutely agree with that. That is a large problem with the movie. Spider-Man has always been my favorite superhero, and I felt a little betrayed after the third one, a little bit, especially since Venom was also one of my favorite villains.
Yep.
I think we could probably agree that Spider-Man 2 is the best Spider-Man film, and also arguably one of the best superhero films. Period.
I will give you that.
Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, probably one of the best comic book villains ever portrayed on screen.
He was very good.
Also, Spider-Man 2, the video game, probably one of the best video games based off of a movie.
Absolutely agree with that. That was a fantastic game. I sunk so much time into it, and the Mysterio boss fight is one of the funniest moments in a video game. Period.
Yes. I'm glad we could find common ground, Adam.
And
Yes.
this has been the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Comic Movie Podcast.
All right. We were stalling for you, Miles.
I-
Okay.
I found that information at the beginning of this conversation. Anyway, what's going to be releasing against Tom Clancy is the only one that has a solid date is against Tom Clancy. The only thing that has a solid date in March is Tom Clancy's The Division coming out on the 8th. And to be announced is Killer Instinct Season 3 and Street Fighter 5. So that's a very safe place, honestly.
Uncharted is going to murder.
I mean, I'm way more excited for The Division and the other two things on here. But
And
yeah,
Uncharted?
I don't care. I've never played Uncharted. I don't
Oh,
like.
that's
I've played it. I just wasn't all that.
That's right.
impressed by it.
Miles hates Naughty Dog.
Nope, that's not true. I am the guy that doesn't like the things you love, though. That's like my thing at this point.
So
But-
interesting thing because you just mentioned dates. So that means that Sony then is going like event game mode for Uncharted because they actually bumped it to a Friday as opposed to a traditional Tuesday release date.
Ooh, I wonder what they'll do.
That's interesting. That's actually really interesting. I didn't think of that.
They'll use
Mhm.
their corporate laser to write Uncharted on the moon.
Well, I think they're hoping to sell more because people, because they're going to have it come on a Friday and everybody gets to grab it and then they get the entire weekend to play it. They're trying, like I said, they're trying to make it a special thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's Uncharted. It's gonna sell very well anyway. But
Yes.
especially with like I said, I'm more excited for those other 3 titles in that month. But it's gonna come out and be completely uncontested, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because not many people
Yeah.
seem to be going crazy about The Division, and the other 2 titles are fighting games. Therefore, they do not have anything to say about Uncharted. But my friends, my gents, it's probably time for us to end, and me to figure out
Probably.
why my camera just wants to stop functioning as a camera.
It is a good look for you, though, Miles.
I think it looks kind of douchey. It looks like I was like just thinking, now what is he about to do? And I've been thinking that for the past 10 minutes apparently, because that's what it
Is
looks
he
like.
about to defend Spider-Man 3?
But anyway, listeners, friends, podcast fans, everyone, it's been lovely to have you with us tonight. Normally you would see my beautiful face while I'm saying these things, but you're gonna have to deal with the what is that face? So our schedule is to record on Tuesday nights and release on Wednesdays. Really, it's late Tuesday, early Wednesday morning. So there you go. You can email us at contact.mong@gmail.com. You can find our Mong Twitter account at mong.com. Dot and com are spelled out. You can find us on YouTube at Mong Network and Middle of Nowhere Gaming Plays. You can also find us on Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram. Just search Mong. Check out our website, of course, which is middleofnowheregaming.com. For all our latest editorials, news, reviews, you can find out what Adam scored Until Dawn, even though he said it earlier. And if you weren't listening, catch up. Don't ruin it, Adam.
Adam, spoilers.
Spoilers, Adam. And last but not least, as we said at the beginning of the podcast, since you weren't listening, we are always accepting new people to join the Mong team.
Yes.
So, fill out those
Go to-
applications.
Go fill out the application now. Don't wait for me to change things. Courtney is a cool guy, and he's forwarding them to me. So.
Yeah. People wanting to work with us. We're amazing. Awesome. I just did like the Mazinger Z robot anime hands and no one saw it, which kind of sucks because that's the only time I'll ever do that.
Also, real quick on that topic before we wrap it up,
Mazinger Z?
I should have mentioned the applications that have come in. We are still reviewing, so don't lose hope.
Don't lose your way in your mind. Anyway, Twitter handles. I am Furious Milk. I'm beautiful and furious and milky.
All those things.
Adam
Fanboy_Adam.
and Jordan.
JL_Fleur.
All right. Remember, if you need to find out how those are spelled, you can look right below our pictures. They're there. If you're watching, if you're listening, then Sound it out. Anyway,
If you're listening, just go watch it.
if you're listening, go watch it. We always appreciate your views. Anyway, this has been episode 93 of the MONG Podcast. It is late. I'm going to go start editing. And until next time, be well. MONG.
Bong.
Spider-Man 3.
Venom needs another chance.